This video was brought to you by NCIX. Great technology, selection, and service.
Hello everyone, this is Dimitri with Hardware Canucks, and today we're taking a look at the Sensei wireless from Steelseries. They've gone ahead with a wireless revision of the very popular Sensei gaming mouse, and I think that's fitting as the original Sensei was simple and functional gaming mouse that many gamers have gravitated towards. The Sensei wireless adds a hefty premium to the price, going around $160, making this quite expensive considering competing mice like the G700S from Logitech and even the Razer Mamba are significantly cheaper. However, there are a few appealing aspects of the Sensei wireless, one of them revolving around the aluminum base that looks and feels exceptional. It acts both as the receiver once plugged in via a micro USB cable that is removable if you want to use the mouse in wired mode. The cable is locked with a push-to-release mechanism on the mouse to avoid disconnection during use. The base station will also charge the mouse, and the surrounding LED strip satisfies both the gaming appeal with its multiple color options and practicality, as it can be configured to showcase the battery status with green, yellow, and red. I found this battery indicator very useful that made it easier to know when the mouse needed charging. Now, the platform itself isn't what you'd call compact. You gain the wireless convenience for the mouse itself, but will require space for the base station somewhere on your desk. It is also unfortunate the base doesn't really complement other wireless gaming products from Steelseries, like the base station from their H wireless headset, and perhaps that's something that should be taken into account for their next design cycle. The mouse is 128 grams, a bit on the heavy side. There is no weight customization, however, and actually none of Steelseries mice have that feature, again something perhaps they should consider. The body is symmetrical, so good news for both right and left-handed users. I am accustomed to more ergonomic mice with slanted body and thumb support to accommodate for palm-type grip. So the Sensei wireless favors claw grip users a little bit more. The rubberized top and sides prevent from slippage, and from a few weeks of constant use, the coating didn't show any signs of wear. That is a good thing. The two browser buttons on each side continue to travel even after they're registered with a smooth roll-off, so they don't disturb navigation or your grip. The scroll wheel is also rubberized and illuminated, but the tactile feedback when scrolling feels kind of muddy and not as defined as I'd like. Also, the scroll wheel click is very heavy, something I would never use during gameplay as I just couldn't press it fast enough. The left and right clicks are also a bit on the heavy side, requiring more force than I'm used to in order for the switches to register, but it does get rid of the possibility of accidental clicking if the switches are too light. The CPI change button behind is pretty low profile with two settings, and the illuminated Steelseries logo at the back can be color adjusted, and Steelseries includes a power save mode that will turn off the LED when using the mouse, that I think is pretty innovative and will prolong the battery life. At the bottom there are a few contacts corresponding with the charging station. We have an on and off switch, and a connect button when pressed communicates with the receiver to wake the mouse up from the standby mode. The laser used here is the ADNS 9800 from PixArt with a maximum of 8200 CPI or counts per inch, and through software it can be bumped to over 16,000 DCPI sensitivity, although I'm not sure if anyone will ever need this type of sensitivity. Previous known acceleration issues with this particular sensor have been addressed by a firmware update, and while we don't have any specific equipment to test for acceleration, in my non-scientific glide tests I couldn't really feel any acceleration, or at least for my usual CPI levels of 800 and 1600. Now that leads me to my gaming experience that overall was pretty satisfactory. I think we're at a point where wireless can coexist within the gaming realm, and my aiming and targeting ability was just as good as in the wired mode. I also got a few days of serious use on battery, after which the lights went yellow, reminding me to place it onto the charging dock, and in reality I don't think battery life will ever be an issue, as you can easily get into habit with overnight charging. I think the Steelseries Engine 3 software is definitely one of the best on the market, as it acts as a hub for all of their gaming peripherals with the usual button mapping and macros. There's the color adjustments for all the 3 zones, the 2 sensitivity modes, battery saving features with sleep timer, sensor sleep mode, and that auto illumination that turns off the LED when the mouse is in use. Acceleration and deceleration adjustments are included, along with the liftoff distance that's very helpful depending on how you handle your mouse navigation, and we also have angle snapping and polling rate. Different profiles are associated with executables and will auto launch with that specific application, meaning no need for manual profile switching, so that's a huge props to Steelseries for such intuitive UI. And I'm going to conclude by stating that the Sensei Wireless hits the market with the large list of positives, such as a functional aluminum base station, excellent sensor tracking with great build quality, we have the 3 customizable color zones, integrated battery saving features, and unnoticeable performance difference in wireless mode that is good news, and of course the Sensei can be used in wired mode as well. And Steelseries Engine 3 driver software is definitely one of the best on the market. I do, however, have a few gripes with the mouse, such as the lack of a small receiver like the ones from Logitech for perhaps mobile use. And while I really enjoy the wireless freedom, ergonomically it's not the most comfortable mouse for palm type grip. Also priced at $160, it is expensive. This is a $100 premium over their Sensei Raw. And I think that Steelseries was definitely right on point with the Sensei as the candidate for a wireless revision. It performs very well, ergonomically favorable within the gaming community, although I personally need something with more support. But at such a high price, the Sensei Wireless is definitely a luxurious buy that many gamers will gravitate against, unless you are in serious need of a semi-cordless solution. And I say semi-cordless since you still have to connect the base to something that will occupy real estate on your desk. Now let us know if you'd spend the amount for a wireless option like the Sensei Wireless. Make sure to subscribe for more similar content. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.